having a positive outlook on things will only inherently change the way you like are as a person. And I think that was also a big thing for me, especially just sort of on positive thinking, was I always felt like if I think things more positive, not like naive or things like that, but more sort of if I try and do things more positively and have this sort of different outlook on things, no matter what the situation, and try and look at the positives of it, not always focusing on the negatives, because I think we're generally we always tend to go towards, it's like the negativity bias. Like you always stem towards, the worst case scenario. And I used to do that a lot. I used to overthink a lot, and I used to sort of always go to worst case scenario. And it wasn't until I was kind of working with James, who's like a mutual friend of ours, where he kind of really was like, not, if a problem comes, it's not dwelling on the issue. Like, it's because I always had the problem of always going to sort of like, okay, this has happened, it's worst case, and not really having a very positive attitude on it. And I think that used to make my mind race, and it used to give me a lot more stress and anxiety. Instead, actually, now I feel that if a problem arises, it's not so much thinking worst case, doom and gloom, my world's going to end. It's actually being like positive. Okay, well, if it's a problem, then it's good to have problems, but also looking at it in a way that's more positive and not so much negative. And I think that made me more of a nicer person to be around, especially like with challenges, and like even at work and stuff. I think Charlie and I, whenever we're faced with issues, we always try and look at it in a way that's like, okay, this is good that it's happening. If we didn't have problems, it'd be shit. Like, good problems are good, but not letting it be like doom and gloom, my world's gonna end, like,
I guess if you have problems, that means you're doing something right.
You got to be doing something right. Exactly.
If you don't have problems, there's something wrong then. I mean, it's very true that you said that, because and I noticed that in you last week when we were supposed to shoot a podcast, and I booked the wrong day, and we came in, and there was apparently it was another day, but you reacted really positively, which was like, oh, fair enough. It made me to go through that.
Like, because you have to,
as well,
because inherently mistakes are always made, and I don't think it's like it's not so much like ignorance or anything like that, or like they always say like ignorance is bliss. I think it's more remembering that there are always going to be setbacks, there's always going to be challenges, but it will only be harder if you make it harder on yourself. And I would, like they say, I can't remember the exact statistic, but most of the problems that we worry about like don't really happen. It's either
that's so true,
because it's either it's like, am I going to worry about this in 5 years? Is this even a problem worth worrying about? If it's an actual problem, then maybe it will actually do me good. Or like, I can't remember, there's like another one where
that's what we spoke in the Stoicism episode. You suffer more in your imagination than in reality, right?
100%. And I think when you kind of look at it in a way that's, okay, well, I want to have a bit more of a growth mindset and not necessarily fixed. You're not like you don't feel like so much threatened by the mistakes that you're making. Because you kind of look at the internal, and then you look at what you can control, and then you go, okay, well, I still know who I am.
Yeah.
Problems are problems. It'll be fine. Am I going to worry about this in 5 years? Probably not.